booth, and that made it, that made it so fun. But he was simple in the way he described stuff, because I think when he coached, that was one of the things and elements he used, one of the tools he used when he was coaching. He would get them, get their attention that way. I think Belichick does a lot of that actually in some of his team meetings.
Yeah.
And you'll hear players talk about Belichick, and they'll say, like, one thing you don't see in the world outside of our offices in Foxborough is how funny Belichick is in the stuff he says. And John Gruden was like that too. Gruden had that same element. And so when it's one of a kind, it's one of a kind. And John was one of a kind. Others tried to kind of be like him or go down that same road and took elements of what John would say and are good doing it, but didn't try to be Madden because they all knew there was only one John Madden.
And here's another one that you don't have as much contact with because you spent such a short time in the NFL, but my son was on Nick Saban's staff back in the early years of Saban at Alabama. My son went to Alabama, and he was a student assistant on the staff, and he would tell me, this is 07, 08, 09, right? And he would tell me, he'd say, Dad, I'm telling you, this guy is totally not the guy that you guys all think he is. What you're doing, he's so funny. And he would tell me stories about in practice. He said the reason the kids love him so much is he's hilarious. I mean, some of the stuff he does in practice, the things he says, he endears himself to the guys, and of course now as he's gotten older, we've seen more and more of that. But Saban is like that too. So many were, and I got very close with Jeff Fisher over the years back when he was coach. In fact, he had selected me to be one of his roasters when they did a big roast of him, and I said to him often, I thought he was going to be a TV hit. And when he got out of coaching, I said, Coach, just be this guy. Can't you be this guy? Instead of being the guy you were as a coach. And he was stiff a little bit, when he did some stuff for NFL Network and so on. I was like, if you be this guy, I thought you'd be a big hit. But a lot of guys, sometimes they're guarded. Madden wasn't that way. He brought us the nomenclature from the locker room, the stuff you could say. And he did things with that telestrator, right, that nobody has done ever since. Am I lying? I mean, it was like the perfect timing that the telestrator came out when John Madden came in, and he was able to draw for us on the screen.
You know what John did, and you're right. I didn't know that about your son. That's a great little story there. I would say that John did a lot of things that have carried over to this day in network NFL broadcasting. For instance, John, who was claustrophobic and did not like to fly, it was a serious issue with him mentally, and then would affect him physically.
All right.
So that's where the bus came, and he would be on this bus literally 24/7 from the beginning of training camp, where he would visit different camps and see old friends that were coaching, right through the Super Bowl that he and Pat Summerall would do. And but John, because he had so much time, would get to the city where he was doing a game, and he would say, hey, I want all the crew to fly in Thursday night, and I'll take everybody to dinner. And then Friday, we'll all go out to watch the Cowboys practice in the morning, and then we'll go to dinner Friday night. And then Saturday morning, let's wake up and get breakfast, and then we'll greet the Eagles when they come down here to Dallas to play the Cowboys. We'll greet them at their and we'll watch tape all day long until the Eagles come. So we interview them, at 5:00 on Saturday night, and then let's order in dinner for our production meeting on like it was a big event every weekend. And so guys that are now leading networks were young broadcast associates, guys that were just in the business. They saw this, they were a part of it, and that's what got all of us on the road earlier in the week to go visit these teams and watch practice and watch tape. Well, as life has gone on and there have been all these innovations, now we can all watch tape in our offices in our hometowns. We don't have to go to Nashville or to, Dallas or Seattle to go spend time in the film room of the Seahawks or the Cowboys or the Titans. We can all now do it from our house. And because now of Zoom with the pandemic, we've all learned that we can do interviews with the players and coaches as effectively as if we were, across from them on a big table. So the business is changing once again. But up until the pandemic, we all had to be there for Friday morning for practice and tape watching and all this stuff, which, quite honestly, for a family man like myself, that was hard to leave that early and be gone a whole weekend and then have to go do a Monday night game and then do an NBA game. Like it was too much. So in a lot of ways, honestly, all that became kind of forgotten with the pandemic. We've operated under a new set of rules, and we may continue this on actually from this point on because it's less expensive, less intrusive on our families. But for John back then, before all the innovations of tape and downloading and streaming and all this other stuff, we couldn't do that. But John led the brigade in that regard, and that's how network NFL TV was for decades because of what John instituted and what people wanted to follow.
Kevin Harlan with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and he'll be in Nashville on Sunday for a key game. Can the Dolphins keep their roll going, or do the Titans put an end to that? And that will be a big one, that is for sure. You're known for some incredible calls. I mean, you gave us some great game calls. You gave us LeBron James with no regard for human life. It was a great call. You had the Stephon Diggs call on the, in that miracle finish for the Minnesota Vikings when they won a game against the Saints. But you also gave us the man on the field, the cat on the field, I think maybe a squirrel on the field. Which are fantastic. And some people say, these are some of the greatest calls of all time, and it has nothing to do with a game. Does it bother you, A, that you're known for those wacky, incredible calls, and two, do you find yourself when it happens almost like you're expected, I got to do it, or I'm going to let it go? You know what I mean? If it were to happen Sunday in Nashville, do you feel like you have to do it, or do you let it go?
Well, I've done so much in these different sports, been lucky enough, blessed enough to do to make this my career and my profession, and I guess I love it so much that I've just had a nice comfort level, and I think people that listen know that I'm passionate about plays and players, situations and games and things like that. Those incidents you talk about that were away from football, like drunk guys and animals on the field, those have happened in the everyday chiseling away at a play-by-play broadcast on radio. So right. On radio, we don't see the face of the drunk. We don't see anything about, I'm talking to people that are basically blind driving, in their cars down I-64. I've got to create the picture. And when you're doing radio, you're calling everything about the game. And all those things happened in the midst of players at the line of scrimmage about ready to snap the ball. And then the guy ran through the slot receiver position. And so I just kind of felt like I'm so in the weeds on description and weather and what guys are doing, where they're situated on the field and who's in and who's out, all this stuff, that you kind of lose yourself in the game. And when a guy runs through, you say, oh, here comes a guy running through in a tutu, through the slot receiver's position. And then, for whatever reason, the security people at these games, they give these guys 30 seconds of unbridled movement. There's nobody out there that's stopping them. And so here are the players watching the guy, and now he's got his arms in the air. So it has become kind of part of what's going on. On TV, we just turned the camera away. We did a game in London with the Dolphins and Jaguars earlier this year, and a guy ran out before the opening kickoff, and we just turned our CBS cameras away. I mentioned somebody's run on the field, and we started talking about something else. But on radio, it has a little bit different feel because it's more theater of the imagination and all that, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, and the other part of it is, I think too, is that I'm pretty comfortable in my own, in my skin, and I'm kind of at the stage in my career where I've done so much, and I guess by the grace of God, kind of have a feel for what can and can't be said, that I know that you can have some fun with it, and yet at the same time, show, hey, they got to get this guy off, and there's a football game going on, and I think people that listen know that my path and what I'm saying, but listen, I would never want to, disparage the game or cheapen the game or anything like that. But it does come with a comfort level that I'm kind of up there. And I'm probably closer to retirement than I am like in the core of my career. Probably another 5, 6, 10 years left, hopefully. And I kind of feel like, I'm gonna have fun and enjoy myself, and that's kind of what I've done.
Well,
so I guess there's part of it says, luckily, you haven't been whacked, kid, and like you're not fired. And the other part saying, we're set in life, and we're ready. We're ready for that next stage, and if this is it, then I'll at least have fun with it, and hopefully the fans, viewers, and listeners will take it that way too.
And on the radio side, and I hope you take this as a compliment, I always fashioned you similar to the great Larry Munson, who was extremely descriptive. When he fell through his chair, in 1980 at the Run Lindsay game, it was a 4-inch padded chair. You know what I mean? And he would always be very descriptive in how it was 3. It wasn't 4th and short. It was 4th and about 3 inches. That kind of thing. And you're that way. You're very descriptive in your radio play-by-play of the game like Larry Munson was, and that's a little bit of a lost art. I think so many guys that come into the business now, all they've done is watch TV, and because they watch TV, they do radio like it's TV, and they don't realize how much more liberty you have doing a game on radio and what you can describe, and you're a master of it.
I'm so glad you said that. I had an internship, but when I was a kid, I would listen to games like a lot of broadcasters had done when they were little, listen to games on radio. And I grew up, like in the 70s, and TV was in, but there were only 3 channels. It was ABC, CBS, and NBC, and that was it, and PBS. So the games that were on, but a lot of it still was radio intensive, and always thought, that's the way I want to call it. I'd listen to Lindsey Nelson do the Mutual Monday night broadcast of the NFL. That later heard, Jack Buck and Hank Stram do it for all those years, 17 years. And I always thought that when I got in this business, really what my goal was to be a radio network play-by-play sports announcer. That was my goal to get. TV just kind of happened for whatever reason. It just kind of happened. But radio really is my first love, and the thing I hope that I do till my last words on a broadcast. I love that the most. It's the most challenging. It's the most rewarding. And radio encompasses everything. It encompasses voice, imagination, words, reporting, tone, pacing, like it's everything. But on TV, you're just accenting they can see the guy caught it and is running and being chased. I'm identifying players, but really not describing what's going on. But if you are driving at night and you're listening to a broadcast, whether it's a Vols broadcast or UGA as you're talking about, or you're listening, to the Titans on radio. If you're by yourself in a car and you're running errands or doing whatever, and you're listening to a game and the words come through that paint the picture of a Tannehill throw as he's getting hit in a messy pocket to the far sideline, and here's a leaping two-handed glove catch falling down with his toes hitting the grass, like all that, like just paints this picture in your mind. Right. And that's challenging to come up with the right words at the right time with the right cadence that the listener can listen to. So, I think delivery is everything in broadcasting, TV and radio, but in particular radio. And some of the best broadcasters we have been guys that have started in radio because they've learned those basics, those fundamentals that you can always cut back on TV. I've never found TV difficult. TV, voice-wise, energy-wise, it's easy because the picture says so much. But on radio, I'm exhausted because of, I did the Dolphins in New Orleans on Monday night with Kurt Warner from the Superdome. Yeah. And to capture all the different movements of catches and runs and throws and tackles and where they are on the field, and all this stuff, is such mentally it's exhausting. But there's such a great, at the end of a broadcast, you feel like you've really accomplished something if you've done it the right way. On TV, what a throw by Tannehill, and you can see the guy running down the field. Look at Henry go, and he's shedding one tackler after another. If the picture's worth 1,000 words, I don't have to say anything. It's right there. But on radio, describe it. He stiff arms his way by one defender as he hits the 20. Now he's up the sideline and he breaks a tackle and he trips over a defender and he hurdles it. Like he can talk about all this stuff, and that's what makes it so great.
Well, on the TV side, right there in your hometown, the guy that taught us, we were kids, Ray Scott, with the Packers. Yeah. He was the master of the layout, and I think that Pat Summerall took a lot from Ray Scott. The layout on TV, the layout is critical because you can see it. You know what I mean? So you need to kind of lay out. And I know that there are times guys would kind of reach over and grab their their color guy and just squeeze him for a second and just let's just let this breathe for a moment before you overtalk it. And then it's the exact opposite in radio. And by the way, you mentioned Kurt Warner. Warner is sneaky good, man. I mean, they don't talk. He doesn't get a lot of talk. They don't talk a lot about Warner, but watch him doing a couple of these NFL Network games that haven't been on, the network and just on the NFL Network. And I listened to him a little bit on the Monday night stuff. But he is sneaky good as a color commentator. You don't find a lot of Hall of Famers that are that good doing color. I'm an Aikman fan too, but Warner's better. He's better than people think. He doesn't get enough respect, I guess is what I'm saying.
He works so hard at it. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Here's a short story. Every Monday night, we get to the broadcast booth probably 4 hours before kickoff. We've got commercials to record and just a variety of things we've got to do. We've got to do hits with different stations around the country. And anyway, so Warner, the Sunday night, he's got to deal with the NFL. This is because he's but with NFL Network, and he's with Westwood One Broadcasting, CBS Radio. So he has, and he's a Hall of Fame quarterback on top of all that, and he gets the chance to get every game downloaded by like 2 a.m. Sunday night, Monday morning, and he then will fly to our game on Monday morning, or Monday night broadcast, and he'll have every game, and he watches every snap of every game, and every quarterback, every play, and has a book that he's been keeping, as he does every season, a notebook, and writes down notes and observations on plays, players, schemes, whatever. And he is still watching tape into our, just before we take the air at the bottom of the hour. He's been watching tape all day and up through our work and before the game of all these games. So, I see how hard he works. He works as hard, if not the hardest, of any analyst in the business right now. He has so much to say because the game did not come easy for him. He worked, as we all know his story, and the movie is out now. But he had to work so hard to get to where he was. When it's easy for you, sometimes the appreciation for all the toil and all the work, as a former coach, you know this, to get to where you get is sometimes part of the beauty of the journey, which is the reward. And that's how he looks at it. I worked so hard to learn how to throw, my footwork, but the way my body was, where was my elbow when I was throwing, how was my follow-through, what was I looking at, all this stuff. Some quarterbacks just get back there like they're Mahomes and Rodgers. Not saying they don't work at it, but they're so gifted that they've got, generational talent to do what they do. Well, Warner wasn't like that. He worked to get everything he did and climbed through one layer after another to eventually become what he became. And because he went through all these stages, he knows how hard it was and the different processes these quarterbacks are going through, what the coaches are trying to instill, and all the different, tentacles that story has. So he's so good and appreciates the process as much as anything and getting better. And so that's what I think makes him such a good analyst, is he sees what linebackers are looking at. He knows what the quarterback is trying to figure out in his head in that split second that he gets the ball, and he's got to make a split-second decision on where he's going to go with it. And that's what I think makes him so brilliant on the mic and in these broadcasts.
The great Kevin Harlan has been our guest. Hopefully not just 8 or 10 more years, as many years as you want to do it. You're in great shape, and you do a tremendous job, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk about John Madden, talk about the industry as well. And, Kevin, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Great to visit. Happy holidays, Christmas, and Happy New Year. And we're looking forward. I hear it's going to be chilly on Sunday. So
well, it's been in the 70s for 2 weeks. I mean, it's 70 degrees today down here, and now it's going to be possible snow flurries. There's flurries in the forecast
I know
so
it'll be perfect, man. December, January football, and all these games mean so much. Titans still have a lot to play for. Certainly the Dolphins do, and it makes it for what is going to be a great day at the stadium on Sunday afternoon. We can't wait to get there and broadcast.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Take care. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me on. Nice to visit.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. That's Kevin Harlan. How solid is that? I mean, think about that. I mean, Kevin Harlan just gave us 29 minutes. I was ready to bail at 16. Grizz, I was out at 16.
That's awesome.
And he gave us 29 minutes. I mean,
that's another guy from a video game. You didn't ever ask him about the video game because he's on NBA. He's on 2K. He does a lot of the 2K announcing, too.
He doesn't shortchange you on answers.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of times I just sat back. Those of you that are watching it on the TV, I just sat back and let Kevin Harlan roll, man.
I'm sure anyone can enjoy those types of interviews for sure. People that grew up on some of the best broadcasts and some of the best, just one-liners.
That one is going to be popular on the pocket. You got to make sure that one gets some love podcast-wise because, we can only give you, like on Twitter, the video side, we can only give you like 2 minutes of it or 3 minutes of it or something like that. But you're going to want to go listen to that. If you missed any of Kevin Harlan, you're going to want to go listen to that one. All right, we're going to come back. I got to give you a fan on the field because I want to do Beat the Big Dog next. For those of you that are great unwatched that have never heard fan on the field from Kevin Harlan.
3rd and 4, looks into the nickel of San Francisco in the secondary. Hey, somebody has run out on the field. Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs to the 50. He runs to the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms, bare-chested. Somebody stop that man.
Here comes the blue coat.
Oh, they got him.
Here comes
They're coming
the blue
from the
coats.
left. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line. That was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
I tell you what, that was a great call on your part. That was a great call.
It was on Monday Night Football with Kurt Warner doing a Westwood One broadcast on Monday Night Football. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, I'll tell you what, let's make it easy. I've got 4 big games in Beat the Big Dog, college games. I have 2 big NFL games in there. I want to play Beat the Big Dog with you. I'm looking for one listener. All right, if you beat me, I got Chow. I've got Havoc tickets to a future Havoc game for you. And all you got to be is the first one in right now. 256-576-4977. 256-576-4977. Be number 1. And you are up next for Beat the Big Dog on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
The latest lines for Friday's college football semifinals. The Cotton Bowl in Arlington, Alabama facing the Cincinnati Bearcats. Crimson Tide favored by 13.5 points, minus 500. Bearcats plus 395. Over-under is at 57.5. Alabama went 12-1. Cincinnati at 13-0. Georgia and Michigan, the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Bulldogs are a 7.5 point favorite over the Wolverines, minus 290, while Michigan is at plus 245. The over-under is set at 45.5. Both teams are 12-1. For vsin.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is your big game headquarters all fall long. And with our new fall features, every day is game day at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Try our pregame starters, including our homemade onion strings, always fresh hot lips, and our all-new Buffalo Dippin' Chicken appetizer. Our main events include incredible chicken, fish, and shrimp selections, always featuring local Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget our Sunday Blitz, 11 to 6. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there. Woody Anderson Ford.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Wednesday, expect scattered showers and thunderstorms. A few of these thunderstorms could be on the stronger side. High temperatures topping out in the lower 70s for the afternoon. For your Wednesday night, expect scattered showers to persist. Low temperatures falling into the upper 60s for the overnight. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Roll Tide.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by our good friends at Valley Equipment Rental. That's right, at Valley Equipment Rental, they've got everything you need to get the job done. You know, maybe you got a little time on your hands during this entire holiday period, and you're going to be off a little bit. Get on down to Valley Equipment Rental. Take advantage of some of the great, tremendous deals that they have. And look, don't worry. If you're not sure about how to use a particular tool or item, they're going to work with you on it, man. They'll help you with it. They'll train you up on it. It's not scary, and you can get some work done here, especially before it starts getting too cold again. You might want to go ahead and knock some of that stuff off. Although I heard it's going to be cold over the weekend and then warm up again into the 50s, which is, look, we're into December now. You know what I mean? So if you're in December, I'm feeling pretty good about this right now. Now, Bowling JJ is on a roll. He was our one and only winner of the Friday trifecta last week, the Christmas fecta. So I'm sure he'll get in again tomorrow. He got 2 points because he got all 4 picks correct. He had the Browns with the 7.5 points. He had the Titans, who were an underdog at home against the 49ers, won the game. He had the Bills, who destroyed the Patriots. He had Houston, okay? And he got points with Houston, didn't need them, as Houston beat Auburn yesterday. Okay, so congratulations to Bowling JJ. And now he wants to take me. He's feeling good about himself. And now he wants to take me on and beat the big dog. Bowling JJ, congratulations on your trifecta win, but you are about to go down and beat the big dog.
We'll see.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you turn him up there, Chris? Say it again, Bowling JJ.
I'll give it my best shot, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, there you go. Now we can hear you. All right, so I've got 6 games here so that we don't have the exact same picks. We'll alternate the picks. Who picks first? Do you want to pick first on the first game, or do you want to pick first on the second game?
Second game.
All right, so on this first game, I will pick first. Then you'll hear Grizz's opinion, and then you make your pick. Purdue gets 5.5 at the TransPerfect Music City Bowl on Friday, or check that. Is it Friday or Thursday? Thursday. On Thursday, tomorrow. SEC's got to turn this thing around, man. I like Tennessee here in front of a crowd that's going to be very heavy Vols. I think it's an excellent opportunity for them to get an 8th win this season. Purdue has beaten some really good people so far this year, but they've also lost some sketchy games. I don't like this 5.5. I'm going to take the Vols at home, and I'll lay the 5.5. Grizz, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vols here. This is the same Purdue team that I thought was going to go into Ohio State and, maybe do some magic, and they got beat 59-31. So if that's the same Purdue team going into this matchup against Tennessee, I'm going to have to go Tennessee here. I like Hendon Hooker. I like what they got going over there, and I think it's going to be a really good game. Actually, it's going to be better than the one a couple of years ago with Louisville and Mississippi State. That's for sure. That game was miserable to watch. Nobody could score.
Well, that 5.5 is spooky. That's a lot of points. But what do you think, Bowling JJ? It's Purdue plus 5.5 against Tennessee.
I think Tennessee's going to boat race them. I think they're just going to blow them out from start to finish.
All right, good. All right, so there we go. That'll be good for the SEC. They need that. All right, in this second game, you guys go first, and here we go, Grizz. The Cincinnati Bearcats get 13.5 in the Cotton Bowl against Alabama. What do you got?
Man, that's a lot of points for a team that's ranked 4th overall. A team that's in one of those big conferences. Man, I think Alabama might. I think Alabama might legitimately beat them by 21 at the end of the game. I think I'm going to go Alabama here.
What do you think, Bowling JJ?
I'm going to take Alabama. You don't give Nick Saban a month to prepare for you.
Yeah, I think Alabama will have it covered by half, and we'll blow it open further in the second half. I think that this could be ugly is what I'm saying on this. So I'm with you there on the Bama. All right, right after that game, the Orange Bowl. Michigan gets 7.5 against Georgia. I'm picking first on this one. I've been saying for a month that 7.5 is too much, so I got to stick with it. I think Georgia's going to win this football game. These teams both play really good defense, so the 7.5 is a lot. I'm going to go ahead and take Michigan plus the 7.5. Georgia to win, Michigan to cover is what I got. What do you got, Chris?
I agree with you. Georgia to win, Michigan to cover. I think they got a good enough defense. Hopefully their offense can transition enough. Can they really run the ball like Alabama did on Georgia? Can Michigan really generate points against that Georgia defense? Is Georgia's defense really this good? You know what I mean? Are they really as good as they've been showcased the whole year until they played Bama? And but I think I agree with you. I think the point spread's too large and it's a lot closer than we think.
All right, Bowling JJ, 7.5, Michigan.
I think Michigan's going to run the ball down their throat and actually upset Georgia.
Wow. So you're looking at a Michigan-Alabama national championship game. The ratings for that would be off the freaking chart. Man, that would be nuts. All right, Sugar Bowl. Grizz. Baylor is a pick'em against Ole Miss. It's like 1.5, 1. I just made it a pick. Baylor in New Orleans against Ole Miss. What do you got?
I think it's gonna be a home game for Ole Miss Rebels, and I think Ole Miss might end up winning this game. And if it's a pick 'em, for sure, I think I'm gonna take the Lane train in this one. Get your popcorn ready.
All right, what do you think? He says, "Get your popcorn ready, Bowling JJ."
It's clear that Ole Miss quarterback is better than Baylor's quarterback, but I'm just going to take Baylor for some reason. I just think they are going to find a way to limit Ole Miss and win the game.
Yeah, Baylor's quarterback. Now, he's a freshman, the quarterback, I think, that's playing for Baylor, unless they got their other guy back. In Ole Miss's quarterback is playing, right? I mean, he is playing. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's playing. So we should be good there. All right, let's go to the NFL. I'll pick first on this one here. Big game in Cincinnati. The Chiefs are a 4.5-point favorite at Cincinnati. The Chiefs got to keep playing hard. They've won their division. They want to get that bye. They're a 4.5-point favorite at the Bengals, and I need the Chiefs to win this game in the biggest way. If the Browns are still going to have any chance, which they do, if the Chiefs win this game and the Rams beat the Ravens, the Browns still have an opportunity to win the division. So I'm going to take the Bengals. I'm going to take the 4.5 with the Bengals. The Chiefs could kick a field goal to win the game. Bengals are playing really well. I'm going to take the Bengals, and I'll take the 4.5 at home, Grizz.
By the way, Matt Corral said if I'm healthy, I'm playing. So hopefully,
is he healthy?
Hopefully.
Matt Corral better be healthy.
So, no, KC in Cincinnati. Oh, man.
In Cincinnati.
Yeah, in Cincinnati. I get it. They played Cincinnati played a terrible, terrible Baltimore Ravens team, but Cincinnati is hot right now. They've got good wide receivers. That secondary is very suspect of Kansas. Their defense is really suspect, but they've been playing really good down the stretch too. So this is a really hard one to pick, to be honest with you. And I understand why KC's a 4.5-point favorite, but I'm going Cincy at home. I like Joe Burrow. I like that receiving core. Defense is playing really well.
All right, Bowling JJ, what do you think?
I'm actually going to go with the Chiefs. I know that they're going to have to lose a game sooner or later, but they win their 9th straight going away.
I hope you're right. And then in our final one, Monday night, Ben Roethlisberger's final game ever in Pittsburgh, the Monday night game. The Browns come in there as 3.5-point favorites at Roethlisberger and the Steelers. Steelers look like garbage last week. The Browns actually look really good against the Packers. If Baker would stop throwing the ball to the other team, maybe they run the ball a little bit more, they'd have been even better off. Should have won that football game. Should have won the game against the Raiders. Should have, could have, would have. Find a way to lose. Roethlisberger has owned Cleveland in his career. 18 or 19 wins over the Browns. I'll take the Steelers and hope I lose. And the Steelers are getting 3.5 at home. Grizz, what do you got?
You said the Steelers were 3.5? I'm sorry, I was taking a call.
Oh, the Browns are 3.5-point favorites.
Oh, the Browns.
At
okay.
Pittsburgh. The Steelers get 3.5 at home.
That's tough. That's tough. I really like your Brownies, but, man, Baker Mayfield is really hard to watch. I'm going to have to go Pittsburgh here because with all this speculation of Matt Ryan possibly going to Pittsburgh, I want to see what this last ride for Ben Roethlisberger is. Yeah.
All right, so he says, what'd you say, Steelers?
Steelers.
He says Steelers. What do you think, Bowling JJ? Steelers get 3.5 at home against the Browns Monday Night Football.
I just think Ben's going to go out a winner at home, so give me Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, beating that dude in his last game ever in that stadium against a team that he has beaten more than any other team, I mean, forget about it. All right, so in summation, we both like the Vols laying 5.5. We both like Bama laying 13.5. We both like Michigan getting 17.5. I have Ole Miss, and you have Baylor in a pick'em in the Sugar Bowl. I have Cincinnati, and you have the Chiefs getting the Chiefs laying 4.5 at Cincinnati, and we both have the Steelers getting 3.5 at home. All right, we got you in, Bowling JJ, and get in tomorrow for the New Year's Fecta.
Oh, you'll get a text from me.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you, Bowling JJ. Happy New Year's. All right, let's get a quick break. When we come back, what to watch on TV tonight, and Wolverine Dan is standing by. We'll do that next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looking for a great deal? Well, I've got one for you. Thom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. And at Valley Equipment, if you rent after 3 on a Friday or on a Saturday morning, you're not due back until Monday morning. So basically, you're getting the entire weekend for the price of one day. And if you're in the service or are a vet, they'll knock another 10% off. Valley Equipment is locally owned and involved in our community through charities and even supporting local teams. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. Stay tuned for info on where that will be and when it will open.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us, too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
For over 20 years, Audio Insight has been designing and installing systems that integrate today's technology into homes and businesses all over the Tennessee Valley. At Audio Insight, they don't provide one-size-fits-all system solutions. Instead, they design your system from the ground up based on your valuable input. By working closely with you, Audio Insights can ensure that your system will meet your performance, budget, and aesthetic needs. Visit the showroom at 1229 Putman Drive off Jordan Lane and experience some of their fine products firsthand. Visit audio-insight.com to learn more.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
There are not many things as satisfying as going through an ordering checklist of specific options and features and then taking delivery of your dream truck or SUV. Hey, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we make it easy to custom order your new Ford today and get exactly what you want. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and see how easy it is. Not only is there no extra cost for the custom order, but you'll get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates on a 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, Expedition, Escape, and even Edge. With a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford, you get the colors, the features, and the options you want, and you'll be notified when it's built, shipped, and ready for delivery. It's most likely the second largest investment you'll ever make, so why settle? Get your dream car or truck with a custom factory order today and get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
I wanna thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
The game's on. Oh, I almost forgot. I'll be right there.
We like sports and we don't care who knows. From shooting hoops to the Super Bowl. We like sports and we don't care who knows. Football, tennis, hockey, golf. The game is starting. Everyone is here. I got my snacks, my friends, and a beer.
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
Are you ready for the football? A Monday night party!
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
What to watch on TV tonight is brought to you by the fine folks at Audio
watch it on TV.
Insight. At Audio Insight, they can do everything that you need to have done. In fact, I'm going to have Audio Insight come out to my crib because, Grizz, I got a powered screen. I got one of them big screens.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Nice.
son-in-law actually had a second one. I had put up on my personal Facebook page, I think I put up a picture of us watching the Browns and the Packers on this huge screen at his house on Christmas Day, and he had an extra one because it had a couple of dents in it, and the people didn't even want him to send it. It cost $600. They didn't even want it back. They're like, it costs too much to ship back. We'll send you a new one. They sent him a new one. There's nothing wrong with it. It just has a couple of dents in the thing up top. So I'm going to hang that on my carport, and then I need to get one of those projection cameras.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Audio Insight's going to do that. I'm going to get
That's
Audio
awesome.
Insight to
Yeah,
do that
no, that's
for
cool.
me.
I kind of want one of those. I kind of want a big projector screen.
Outside, though, too. You know
Gaming
what I mean? Outside.
and-
Yeah, gaming would be cool if I was a gamer. But anyway.
I have a big
Audio-
curve monitor now, so
Yeah.
I'm just like mesmerized by that thing.
Go to audioinsight.com. That's audio-insight.com. Learn more about Audio Insight because they can take care of what you need at your place or business as well. They've been doing it for over 20 years in the Tennessee Valley. All right, what to watch on TV today? Bowl Day. We got several bowl games coming up in a row on ESPN, and we literally have to check to make sure these games are not affected by COVID, and we have. So you got the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. You got baseball. You got football at Yankee Stadium coming up here at about 2 o'clock. It'll be Maryland and Virginia Tech. Not you can watch a little Tagovailoa. I guess that's worth watching. Talia Tagovailoa there. The Cheez-It Bowl. I like the Cheez-It Bowl. That's coming up after that. Tom Luganville is part of the broadcast team for the Cheez-It Bowl in Orlando. That is Clemson and Iowa State. That's worth a look. And I really like the Alamo Bowl tonight, the Valero Alamo Bowl. Oregon and Oklahoma. I mean, two teams that the coaches just bailed on them. But Oregon and Oklahoma, I like that. If you want some basketball tonight, how about a little Auburn and Alabama double dip on ESPN2? LSU at Auburn, and that will be at 6 o'clock, followed by Alabama and Tennessee at Coleman Coliseum. Good night of sports TV. All right, sorry, Wolverine Dan didn't get you in, but we will get you in tomorrow for the New Year's Fecta. Coming up next is Chuck Oliver, then bowl games, and, of course, 2 o'clock, the big basketball game for the City Classic Championship between Grissom and Sparkman. You'll hear it all right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50s-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville